Welcome to episode 27 of the Sweet Natured Cruisecast. Hi, I'm Linz. As always, I'm joined by Marky.
Hello.
Hello, and today we're talking awkward cruising. But first, a little mood music.
Did that mood music sound awkward and set the mood?
Did buy a lottery ticket. Wow.
That's like 2 or 3 now that you've said I've set the mood music, correct?
Well done. That seemed very awkward.
I can't remember what it was called, but it did have awkward in the title.
Did it have awkward in the title?
Yeah, something like that.
Right, wow, okay.
But yeah, fantastic. Well, what a way to start off episode 27, which is also our first year anniversary podcast / cruisecast.
Wow.
That's gone quick.
Mm-hmm.
And the topic for this one is awkward cruising.
I feel awkward now.
You picked the title for this one.
No.
I take no responsibility for this one.
And the thing is, it's regardless of how many cruises you've been on, or whether you've never been on a cruise at all, if you do go on a cruise, you're going to have an awkward moment, and we need to talk about them.
Well, we will talk about them in just a second, because we've also then got a couple of news stories, and we've only got 2 today, because the ones that I think we're probably going to talk a little bit about. So I kept it down to just 2.
Okay.
And no cruise confession this week. Again, just so we can talk.
So no Smurfs this week.
No smurfing this week.
Okay.
If you don't know that one, then maybe check the previous episode 26.
I've got to check Urban Dictionary before I do stuff.
Well, you need like Urban Dictionary in your retinas so that you've got it constantly.
Like Neo in Matrix.
Like the Matrix, so you can constantly reference it before your brain engages or doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's crack on with the topic then. Awkward cruising.
Yes.
Set us off.
Okay. I want to talk about how
I'm turning to look at you.
Don't do that's well creepy. The first scenario, we're doing scenarios, is in the art gallery. You're going to have an awkward moment in the art gallery.
What's the awkward moment in an art gallery?
You're there, looking at a picture. You're there, looking at a picture going, I could do that. And then sneaky at the side of you is the sales representative saying, would you like me to tell you about the fabulous artist? And you're like, what's the thinking? This is an app. Why?
We have had it where we've been a bit dismissive of the art on there. And I'm a terrible artist, so I have no artistic skills whatsoever.
Right.
But I have said things along the lines of what you've said there. I could do better. It looks like a 5-year-old's done that. And on one particular occasion, we had the artist stood about 10 foot away from us.
It's awkward. It's awkward. I told you it's an awkward.
That is an awkward one. That's a good first scenario.
Thank you. It's awkward.
Have you got any tips for getting out of said scenario if something like that?
Don't go in.
Don't go
in. Don't go to an art talk, even if you think, oh, I can get a free glass of Prosecco. It's not worth it. It's not worth the orcs, honestly.
You see, I occasionally enjoy walking through the art galleries. There's a couple of ships that I think have got quite nice ones. QM2's got quite a nice one that runs below as you're on the way to Queen's Grill.
Not Queen's Grill.
I don't mean Queen's Grill, Queen's Room.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, I got a Queen's Grill as well.
Through it.
But I think that's quite a nice one. And some of them are quite nice to just have a wander through, but they're nice to wander through it at sort of either very early doors or very late doors when there's no one else.
Yeah, when you can enjoy it in your own time and appreciate the art.
And not this cup setting the salesperson or the artist.
Or just feeling, I can't see $5,000 in that.
Oh, yeah. I've seen pieces on there at sort of 20 and 30,000 that I genuinely can't see 400 or 500 in it. But art is in the eye of the beholder, and it's subjective.
I know, and does it cause an emotional response? Yes. Is it necessarily the response the artist was going for? No.
Do you remember when we first went on...
Is this the one with Cheryl?
Yeah, Celebrity. We were convinced the artist had painted
a flamenco dancer,
of.
but based it on Cheryl Cole. Now, if you don't know who Cheryl Cole is, Google Cheryl.
She was on X Factor in the UK, which is a Simon Cowell talent show, and Girls Aloud.
Yeah, Cheryl.
Yeah.
Was, I don't think it was Cheryl, but it looked very much like Cheryl.
Yeah, so every time we walked past it then, because it was on the way to the World Class Bar.
Yeah, any time we went, yeah.
So you couldn't avoid getting to it from our cabin. If we wanted to go to that cocktail bar, we had to walk past it. So we used to say hi to Shirley.
We used to go, all right, Cheryl.
And it were transatlantic, so we had about 15 days of walking past her.
Yeah, and I think the person in there thought she was called Cheryl.
But one day it had moved, and we were convinced that someone must have bought it. And so we tracked it down. She just moved. She was still there.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. So
art gallery.
Give us some more awkward scenarios then.
The sommelier.
The sommelier?
Yeah.
What's wrong? What's awkward with the sommelier?
Because.
Is this on any particular cruise line, or are you just thinking generally?
The thing is, you're not a red wine fan.
No.
And when
I'm getting more into it. I wouldn't say I'm a fan.
Sees on all the cruises, we've been on 2 glasses of red wine.
That's 2 more than I'd had in my previous life.
I'm sure in a previous life you might have had red wine.
I'd have had mead.
Okay.
No red wine.
Okay, well.
I'm getting more into it. Sorry, I interrupted your story there.
It's not a story, it's the truth. What happens is we'll get to the point where we were going to order a steak.
Yeah.
And the sommelier will say, and the wine, I recommend this wine, I recommend that wine, and full body, red, sounds like me.
Full body red. You might need to speak a little bit louder when you're making those really quiet ones.
I'm really sorry.
Otherwise it's going to be very ASMR.
Trying to set a scene here.
So what was he saying?
Then you'll go, I'll have the Moscato, please.
Yeah, I'll sometimes have a rosé or a white. I'm not a massive fan. Which ship was he where he challenged me to find one?
It was MSC.
It was MSC, yeah. And he said, I will find you a red wine that you like.
And he did.
And I think he bought about 2 or 3, didn't he?
Yeah, and there was one.
He's like, right, try these. And then there were one that, I think that was the first time I'd ever had a glass of red wine.
And enjoyed it.
In a restaurant.
But can we remember what the wine was?
I haven't got a clue. If only there was a video review of...
I don't think there would.
We did a review of Butcher's Cups.
Yeah, but I don't think we did that bit.
No, and I couldn't tell you by looking at the menu what it was. So maybe I should have made more of a note.
And also, when you're in the wine and you've got the wine menu and you're on the drinks package and you can have one glass of wine out of all the choices.
That makes it harder.
And again, awkward because...
If you've got the drinks package.
Drinks package, you're like, would I like this glass 37?
I think the other bits that sometimes you get with sommeliers, and obviously this happens on land as well, so this isn't exclusively a cruise thing, but you're going to see a sommelier more on a cruise ship than you would do, I guess, on land generally.
Mm-hmm.
But and this is as much on me as anyone else, there seems to be a little bit of that sort of wine snobbery element to it, and an expectation of that you know what they're talking about, when some of the time, occasionally I do.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time I don't. And therefore you kind of almost just going along with it a little bit. I don't think I'm on my own.
But it's still awkward. I hate it. It makes me so awkward.
Okay, give us another awkward scenario.
Another one. Are you not doing any?
Well, I'm trying to think of some.
Spa endings.
Spa endings? Where they try to sell you?
Yeah. I know I keep talking about it, but I'm going to keep talking about it until it's not a thing anymore. Decided. I don't like it.
Well, I don't think it's ever not going to be a thing, because to be clear, in case anyone by some chance doesn't know what you're talking about, and this is the first time they've ever heard you, you're talking about the upsell at the end.
When you're all relaxed.
When they then try and sell you some of the products that they've used on you during the massage, because they believe that that's going to be better for you in the long run.
And if I can do it at home, why would I do it on the ship?
Well, also, you need sort of someone with their skill set at home.
And also, I'm never going to get past the $150 LMS bath salts. I know I keep talking about it, but I felt terrible for days. So no, awkward.
Yes, it does. They've got to. I get that they have to sort of sell to that, and I'm sure the crew are targeted to make certain sales, and I'm sure they're rewarded in terms of that. I'm sure there's a commission that goes along with it. So I don't feel any worse of them trying to sell than anyone else in any sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole point of going into a spa is you're going in there to relax and sort of unwind, and and we have been on it where. Yeah, some of them is not push at all. It's just we'd recommend this, and you go, "No, I'm good," and they go, "Okay, thank you."
Yeah.
There's others will just keep going. It's a much more harder sell.
Yeah, I don't like it.
That one I have more of a problem with.
Yeah, I understand.
Less than others.
Don't be next one.
If you've got one,
I feel like I'm going.
It's a therapy session for you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, awkward balcony conversations that you hear while you sat on your balcony, and you don't necessarily want to hear.
People thinking that they're in a little bubble when they're on their balcony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
you don't want to move your chair because then they'll know there's somebody there.
Yeah, you end up froze.
Yes. They're like, I can't move. I can hear all about.
It gets to that bit in it where you know you should have probably moved about 5 minutes before because that were a safe point.
Yeah.
You've then just got to sit through it.
And whatever you're doing, if I'm sat by myself on the balcony, and I know at some point you're going to come out and make it really obvious that I'm sat there. It's awful. It's awful. Don't want to hear about your medical problems. I don't want to hear about what
love life problems, anything.
No.
I do think people. Because they're looking outwards when they're on a balcony and they can't see anyone there. They believe that, that there's no one around. And if you can't hear anyone, again, it adds into that you're in this little bubble and no one can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that people just feel sort of more that they can just say what they want on there.
Yeah.
You also hear it from sort of above the deck if you've got a higher balcony.
Yeah.
And you can hear people talking on like the pool deck.
Yeah.
If you directly below that, we have some interesting conversations from there. But occasionally it's quite funny. Not
an awkward moment there because they're upstairs. They can't see me. I'm not in their general vicinity.
No.
It's when it's next door and you can't...
Next door or sort of directly below you.
No, because below me I can stealthily get away. It's when they're next door having their interesting chat. Now, I admit, I have some interesting chats in my life. I don't necessarily want somebody listening to it.
Someone will have listened to it if you've had some of those interesting chats.
Some very interesting chats, but I'm not doing it on the balcony. I feel bad enough as it is when we talk about things. It's making me nose itch now. I'm going to have a drink. This is lovely, this actually.
One of the bits that I found quite awkward, and this has happened to me numerous times. I don't know how many, but a lot. Is you're queuing down at guest services or reception or whatever it's called on the given cruise line that you're on.
Mm-hmm.
And the person in front of you is having a huge kick-off. It could be about something serious, it could be that, but it becomes this mass drama piece like you would see on some reality TV show. And it becomes both captivating that you can't look away and horrifying.
And you're hopeful that you're not going to be the person that has to see that person on the desk next.
I've done that where I followed that person directly. I've just smiled at them and gone, mine's not as bad. Just go, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
But it is awkward when, I don't know why, but people feel quite happier on, to be fair, I've seen this at places like Disney as well, where it's but where people are on vacation, they feel much more open to vent their frustrations publicly than you would do it maybe at home. You know, if you went into a shop to complain or you were complaining at a restaurant, you probably wouldn't be as loud.
Yeah.
But, you know, whether it's the readily availability of alcohol or whatever else. But I have seen and witnessed some complaints, some of which I said the complaints were genuine, and others it's just like blown out of proportion.
No, but it still makes you feel awkward.
It does make you feel.
I've got another one.
Okay, go for it. Therapy for Lindsay.
Honestly, I'm sure I can't be the only person. The only person that when you sat at dinner and you've got a little two and there's another two and then the two at the side of you, Frosty.
Where they don't say anything, they just sit and stare.
They don't even stare at each other.
No.
Don't even look at the phones.
They just look past each other.
Yeah.
We've had that a couple of times. I think we've only had it where they sat next to us once, where it's in very close proximity, but we've had it where they sat around us a few times.
That makes me feel awkward.
And they've clearly either sort of just gone to dinner after having a big argument.
Oh, they've never spoke at dinner in their lives.
Yeah. But they just sit there and you're like, please just say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Have we ever then tried to engage with them?
No.
To break it down?
No.
Maybe that's what we should do.
No.
Just say, how's your class going?
No. No. No.
So what would you recommend for people if that happens?
Well,
Because you can't really move.
They're obviously not drinking enough, are they?
No, I mean, if you're the one sat next to them, so in our particular...
We have to drink a lot.
How do you... Is that the answer to the awkwardness? Just drink more?
Yeah, and then it becomes funny then. I mean, when we've done it, when we've been in a restaurant on land, you can text each other. I have a little handbag. I don't take that out. I've got a new handbag for my next cruise. You've got to see it. So I don't take
Was that on your mind because it had just arrived?
No, not that one. Another one.
Oh, the other one.
Yeah, we can text each other.
Is that the fruity one? Yes.
It is the fruity one. So yeah. So yeah, that's another thing. That's another thing, and yeah. There's always these moments, like, there's an awkward moment where you're excited, you've got on the cruise, you walk into someone, you bump into them, you might.
It just reminded me of something.
Physical contact, and you're like, I am so sorry, and they look at you and they're like, idiot. And then that's the person you see all around the cruise for the rest of your cruise.
You're thinking, we're going to get on a ship, there's anywhere between 1,000 and 8,000 people, depending on how big the cruise ship is. Now, the chance of me bumping into that person again is really slim. And you can guarantee you're going to get into the elevator with them, and there'll just be the four of you in there. You're going to sit near them in a restaurant. You're going to sit on the same row as them in the theatre. You're just going to keep bumping into these people time and time again. And then there can be people you're looking out for. Friends are on there, you just don't see them.
Never see them.
Maybe
never see
avoiding us, but
no, never see them. But it's the, I don't know whether it's like magnets that attract, but it's like an awkward power that just draws you to the awkwardness. It happens to me so many times.
We had it. Do you remember where we were? Went on. I think it was Oasis of the Seas.
What's that?
And we were getting a transfer on a minibus.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the cabins.
Yeah, but that wasn't awkward. That was a flex.
Yeah, but then we kept seeing that same...
Oh, when we were the captain and stuff like that. It's just that. And then when we got ushered through security. Yeah, it's a long story, but either way.
We'll save that for another cruise cast. We'll do that specific stuff.
I don't... Again, it's making me feel awkward because I liked it so much.
You liked what we did.
And now I'm awkward. I feel so awkward. Because in the moment, when I'm naughty, I take great pleasure in it. Like,
was that the late night Linzi and you're coming out?
Yeah.
And she's quite happy about that.
Yeah, and then afterwards
And then does little angel Linzi feel bad?
Little angel Linzi feels super awkward. So yeah.
No, there are these things, and they keep coming up time and time again, don't they? But
it happens to us all. It happens to us all.
You can take a lot of humour in them, and they make for some good stories when you get home with friends.
Though not during.
Not in the moment.
Later.
But afterwards.
Later. Much later.
Have you got any final ones that you want to get off your chest?
No, thank you. I feel I've covered. There's more. Tell us more. Yeah, definitely more.
Let us know in the comments for this, whatever have sort of been the awkward moments you've had on board and how you dealt with them. And
yeah, because there's like your swimwear issues.
Yeah, the number of times where we've seen inappropriate swimwear on cruise lines, and people might think, oh, we'll be talking about like Virgin Voyages and stuff. No, we've had it where someone stood directly above us in the solarium on Royal Caribbean in the tightest, smallest Speedos that a man could ever fit into that were also bright gold.
They were gold lamy ones. And
well done for doing it, but you didn't know where to look once you'd seen it.
I did. Down.
Away.
Down and away.
Like rabbit in a headlights. Deer in a headlights.
No, because that's looking straight at it. This is me.
You were head height when you stood up.
You might want to look.
No, it wasn't looking. It were the head height because they were on the level above us.
I'm not saying a word.
No.
Awkward.
Shall we do some cruise stories?
Yes.
So, cruise story number 1.
Okay.
Probably at this moment in time, the most famous or well-known Captain Kate McHugh.
I say how to read it. That famous. Yeah.
That famous. Surprised a lot of people.
Yeah.
Just, I think it was yesterday or day before the time we were recording, when she announced that she's leaving Celebrity Cruises and the Royal Caribbean family, which she's been an officer and a captain there for 22 years.
Wow.
She was the first female captain of a large ship.
Okay.
American.
Well done.
One.
Yeah.
But she has a huge social media following.
She does, yeah.
Massive on
Yeah, huge, yeah.
So people were sort of a bit dismayed. But she's made it clear that her sailing days are not over.
Okay, so the speculation begins.
Well, she said, I think she referred to it as the sailing continues with new seasons.
New seasons. Is she going to be brilliant, do we think?
Well, that's what I wanted to have a chat about. Where do we think that she's going to end up? Your not so cryptic piece there of, do I think she's going to be brilliant? Are you meaning, will she be the captain on Virgin's new brilliant lady?
Well, she's a brilliant lady herself.
She's a
so it writes itself, doesn't it?
That we talked about this yesterday when we read it. When this thing came out.
Yeah, because this is not a surprise to me today.
No, you know. Well, you didn't know we were going to talk about it, but you knew the story.
I had a suspicion we'd be talking about it.
But it was, who did we think that she'd end up going to work for? Because there's only so many massive cruise lines.
I know a job for her.
What's that?
They're looking for a skipper at the Loch Ness Centre to drive the deep scan boat.
She might want something fancier than that, having just come from
the
Celebrity Edge.
She might have always had an interest in finding the Loch Ness Monster.
She could do. Well, we'll say that's, plan B.
I'm not joking. It's a genuine job.
It's a genuine job.
Yeah.
Skipper for the Loch Ness expedition.
The Loch Ness deep scan boat.
How do you apply for that?
Well, I guess Google it. I know it's a thing.
I think she might go for something sort of more commercial.
I just always wanted to
find Nessie.
Skip her a boat on Loch Ness.
Well, maybe searching for cryptids is a thing for her, but I'm not positive.
Well, I like how you use the scientific term for Loch Ness Monster.
The cryptid. It's only through watching Y-Files the other day and I remembered it. Virgin would be an obvious one in that they are a big fan of the crew having very much their own sort of personalities, their own social media, and we know quite a few of the sort of happenings casts that have got big followings. But Virgin's captains are the most hidden of all the captains.
Oh, they are, yeah.
They don't wear the fancy gear. We were sat behind them on our cruise in August, when we went to the wake, and there was 10 of us, and we were
poor people.
If you watch that vlog back and just skip it to that, one of the people on that table is the captain.
Yeah.
I still don't know who it is, which one of it is, because they're not in all of the attire. And would that necessarily fit with what she's done previously to be in that?
Maybe.
Or could you see her jumping onto something like Princess with their Sphere class and taking over the new star?
Oh, she's a star too.
Yeah.
Oh.
That one seems to fit more with the personality of it, because the captains on Princess do get involved in stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They do get involved in the shows.
Yeah.
They have the big things in like the atriums.
Yeah.
With the sort of champagne pouring and stuff like that. So I think that fits historically what she's done with Celebrity and Royal.
Maybe.
But it would be nice to have that big personality on Virgin as well. So whilst it's nice there isn't the formality on Virgin of all the officers all in all the gear, they're the same as everyone else. I think it would be nice to have that as well.
Okay.
So we shall keep our eyes out as to where she ends up.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever it is, I'm sure she'll love it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a little bit slurpy there.
Never.
I'll just try a quick drink as well.
Mm.
Which, both of those things, you got some ice in your mouth.
Mm.
Both of those last comments bring us on nicely to the next one. Because we're going to be talking about Virgin Voyages trialling a beverage package.
Oh.
Which is why I said that I thought we might talk about this.
Yeah.
So Virgin, if you've never been on Virgin, unlike other cruise ships, don't have a beverage package.
No, they don't.
They have something called a bar tab.
Yes.
Which is, like it suggests, you put money on in advance, and that takes away from it each time you have a drink, whether that's alcoholic or non-alcoholic.
And sometimes they can really add up.
It can add up, but often when you book a Virgin cruise, especially if you book it on board, but they have big offers from time to time, they will give you a bar tab allowance.
Yeah.
We'd been on it not long ago, where we had over $1,000 bar tab.
For 4 nights?
For 4 nights. There was nothing left at the end of it.
We did it.
Challenge complete. But because you get that, we've never really been that bothered that we didn't have a beverage package. Since how we've been on it, we have had an allowance, which has gone.
Like new things.
We've tried new cocktails like we like with a beverage pack.
Yeah.
So for us, the thing about a beverage pack is a few different fold.
Yeah.
That you pre-budget, so you're not thinking how much am I spending every time I get a drink.
Yeah.
You just enjoy it.
Yes, yeah.
So there's no nasty shock at the end of the cruise. You'll try drinks that you wouldn't normally try. Because if you're paying for it and you've got a limited budget, which we all do, then you go, right, I'm going to have this cocktail that I know I like.
Yes.
Because you don't want to waste.
You don't colour outside the line.
No. Whereas when we have a beverage package, both of us, whilst we will still try our favourites,
we like to dabble.
We will try things that we've never tried before.
Yeah.
And we've found some amazing cocktails that have become favourites from doing that. And we've tried ones that we will never, ever, ever have again. But we give it a go.
Yeah.
Problem with the beverage bar tab is that you're a little bit more restricted of doing that because you are paying with your own money, essentially.
Yeah.
Now, again, you can buy a bar tab in advance, put, say, $300 down.
Yeah, and then
Virgin will give you a bonus on top of that.
Yeah.
So they don't match it.
They don't match it anymore.
No, they used to match it when it first came out. That was a long time ago. But depending on your status with them, you get a different amount.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
But as a minimum, if you put $250 down, they'll give you another $50. So it's free money if you know you're going to spend it, and you have to buy it in advance.
Okay.
So you are pre-budgeting as well. But there's been a call from a lot of people. We've discussed it on a few videos ourselves, including when we did our review on the bar tab like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
That should they still consider doing one?
Yeah.
Because Virgin came into the market, wanted to be disruptive and do things different.
Yeah, I remember.
However, I think there's been this fairly consistent requirement from passengers, and they're very popular, of going, we really would like that.
Yeah.
Now, how this has come about, because there is some big caveats to this. One, it's only a trial. So they're just doing it for 6 cruises in March of 2025. So depending when you want watching this.
Listening.
listening to it or watching, this may have already ended on Virgin.
Yeah.
And it's only on one ship, which is Valiant Lady.
Okay.
So it's not across the fleet. They're just doing a bit of an extended trial. And it's only for people who are staying in the Rockstar suites.
How does that work? They get the freebie Richard Rooftop hour as it is.
They get a freebie hour.
Oh, it's 2 hours as it is.
Yeah, but they don't get free drinks all the way through. So if you're staying in the top level suite, which is the Mega Rockstar, you get unlimited drinks. So from the second you get on, you get mini bar in your room, which they will refresh for you.
Yeah.
They will... you can have as many drinks as you want. There is no limit on it.
Yeah.
Up to the value, I think, of $25 per drink.
Okay.
So a huge amount of sort of money there available for you. I would say the drinks, you would struggle to find a drink above $25 as a standard drink. You can go get a very expensive whiskey or very expensive tequila. But they pretty much let you go. And if it's over your drinks allowance in Mega, they just charge you the difference.
Yeah, I like
that. Which is good. In Rockstar, you don't get any allowance.
No.
But in your cabin, when you first get on,
yes, I remember.
So you get a couple of bottles of spirits and some mixers and you're aware.
Yeah.
But once it's gone, that's it. When you're out and around the ship, you pay for it as normal.
Yeah.
So what they're trying to do is give you a little bit more within there, but they've reduced it to $20 per drink, which still, from our experience, that covers all the cocktails that we had on our last cruise.
I guess so.
So you're not having to worry about it.
Not the tequila, though.
It also covers specialty coffees, teas, juices, smoothies, etc., all that sort of stuff. So they're in there. How much do you think it is to pay for this upgrade on these 6 cruises? So obviously they're testing it, going, are people interested in it? How much would they be willing to pay? And do we open it up beyond that?
Okay, so I'm thinking about Royal Caribbean as I'm doing this. I want to say $110.
Per person, per day?
Yeah.
Well, when you look at Royal Caribbean, their pricing, they have dynamic pricing on it now.
I think dynamic pricing.
I might be wrong on that, but I'm fairly sure, right? So it depends on the cruise that you're going on as to how much it is. On Virgin, it's a $95.
Okay, that doesn't seem so bad.
It doesn't, but
it's only available to the people in the Rockstar.
You've got to be in Rockstar already. So rest of the ship on the trial. I think if they eventually do this, then they'll probably do it across the whole ship. Because why make it so restrictive? But what I suspect they'll do is it'll be a different price if you're in Rockstar.
Yeah, maybe.
So in there, I don't think it'll be a different tier. I don't think you'll only have 15 if you're in an inside and 17 if you've got a seat terrace.
No.
I think it'll be the same limit, but I think they'll make it cheaper. Maybe it is 110 if you're in a seat terrace.
Maybe. Okay.
And then really it's down to you as an individual as to whether you think it's
worth it or not.
Good value. What they've also said as well, don't matter if you're travelling in Europe on this particular one, but it does on these particular cruises, that you can also use that allowance when you're on their private island on Bimini.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Because a lot of the cruise packages, drinks packages, they don't allow you to use it on the private islands, which I always think's a bit rubbish when they don't do that. You bought it, it's their island. It's not like they've got other people to pay. So I think if you get the package, you should better use it anywhere that's in there.
Yeah.
But you can use that within there. Any sort of particular final thoughts that you have on that or anything?
I'm glad they're testing it. I'm glad I suggested.
Do you think you did suggest it? Do you think they'll make it a thing? And if so, when?
I don't know, trialling it on the Mega Rockstar people, whether you're getting a full picture of the spending habits and nature of drinks purchased at set times and what.
Do you think that's what they're looking at? How much people are going to be drinking on that and how much lost income they get?
Of course they are. And also, what time do people start drinking? What they're drinking in the morning? What they're doing specialty coffee-wise? What they're doing at lunch? What they're doing in an evening? What they're doing after dinner? What they're doing?
Well, I think if you're doing that, the amount of data you're going to get from just our Rockstar for 6 cruises is very minimal.
Yeah, because they don't,
But what you're going to be talking at the most across all that in the Rockstar is probably 500 people across those cruises. but not all 500 are going to buy it.
No.
So you might have 50 or 60 cabins that buy this across those cruises.
And I'm not sure you can get a good enough picture from that.
Well, definitely you're not going to get to look at all the data you just talked about there. You're not getting that out of 50, 60 cabins.
No.
You want thousands.
Yeah, what's the most popular drinks? What's, what?
Well, it could be, one of the drinks that you absolutely love on there is that Mediterranean G&T. The cost of them doing that will be far less than some of the other costs.
I don't know. I'd have all the cheese.
That's purely in cheese that is costing them against that, as opposed to the cost of a lump of feta, as good as that feta is in that, is still a lot cheaper than gin, I would imagine. So I think they're up on it. If all the people do take this package is eat the feta, and they'd be quite happy with that.
Mm.
But it'll be interesting to see through all that. I do expect that we'll see another version of this trial this year. And then I'm hoping, my fingers crossed, by the time we get on our next Virgin cruise next year.
It's available.
Because we've 2 next year, so it'd be good for that to be available on those. Because we will definitely take it.
Mm.
Having said that, if that was for the cruise that we're going on in March, at $100 a day, that'd cost us $3,200 for the cruise. That seems like a lot of money.
I'm not saying a word. That's a fortune.
It is. We may have to do
the bath salts I could get with that.
You could get 2 packets of Bellamy's bath salts.
Can't get a Cheryl painting though.
Definitely can't get the show painting out way more than that. Anyway, with that.
Cheers.
Oh, that was a good little.
It was a good chink.
Thank
you for listening.
Yeah. And we'll play out with a little mood music.